Hello, everyone out in YouTube world, internet land. This is Kirsten Hall again with Pointe Publishing, and we are with another one of our newest authors. Her name is Joanne Stevenson. She hails from Iowa, and we're going to do another one of our introduction interviews. Put someone on the spot. Good fun. No, she's kind of nervous about this, so we're going to get through it fast. She gave us the 5 or 6 questions for our scripted reality show, so we're going to jump right into it. All right, Joanne, if you want to tell everyone out in internet land about who you are, where you're from, that kind of stuff.
Hi, I'm Joanne Stevenson from Decorah, Iowa. I've lived here 10 years. I've lived all over Iowa. I was born in Carroll, where we have like 5 generations there. Both my parents were there and both sets of grandparents. But I've lived all over Iowa. I love Iowa. I'm 63 years old. Started writing probably about 20 years ago, started writing poetry, started submitting poetry to Lyrical Iowa. It was a family thing. My mom, who's passed away now, but she got us all started on it. It was kind of a competitive thing in our family where we all tried to get in each year, and it was fun because to submit a poem or poems and see if you get admitted or not. Oh, my earring just fell off. And then from there, I started writing some children's stories. The first one I wrote, the characters are based on my grandsons. And this was probably 10 years ago that I wrote that. And now I've written a couple more, but they kind of just come to me. And I wish more would come to me. I might do some sequels to a couple of these, but I guess my grandsons inspired me to write the first one. And I'm not sure where I got the inspiration for the other ones. Like I said, they just came to me. So
okay, well, yeah, I know
excited
that
to have found Fox and working with Kirsten and Chelsea, and I hope I can keep writing. I've always been an avid reader. Right now I'm rereading the O.E. Rollbag Giants in the Earth trilogy about Norwegian immigrants. The town I live in has a huge Norwegian American museum, probably the largest ethnic museum in the world. And I used to work there. So immigrant stories really interest me. I haven't written any adult stories other than my poems. I would love to, but I don't, maybe someday, but right now it's just children's stories, and very interested in working with an illustrator because I think that's really important. The other piece of a children's book is the illustrator, and that tells the story as well.
Is there anything about your style or genre that you find particularly challenging?
Well, the 3 children's stories that I have all rhyme, and that's very challenging, and I maybe would like to get away from that. But yeah, I mean, each one was challenging in its own way to tell the story, get it to rhyme, keep it interesting. The whole time I'm picturing a child reading it or being read to. And, you know, so you have to use certain words and kind of have to get on their level. But I think anyone who writes anything, whether it's adult stories, children's stories, it's always challenging, and it needs to be. Well, I mean, maybe it comes really easily to some people, but not to me. It's work.
Yep.
And I find that I have to be inspired to be creative and write.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope more stories come to me, and even more poetry. I'm going to keep doing that. And I don't write every day. I think if I wrote more often, got in that habit, I think I would be more creative, and more ideas and stories would come to me. But I have a pretty busy life. Oh, you didn't ask me about my hobbies. I bike, I garden, I knit,
Mm-hmm.
I read, and I have a big family. I have 5 children and many grandchildren. I was a very young grandma when my oldest son had his first. So I guess I find it challenging to find the time for myself to be creative and write. Sometimes ideas just float around in my head, especially with poetry, and but then if I don't write them down, they're gone. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
I understand that. Half my day is sitting at my desk going, what was I going to do?
Yeah. Yeah. There was a really good poem once in Lyrical Iowa. This man submitted that he went out for a walk and he thought of this really great poem, or the start of a really great poem. And by the time he got home, he had forgot it, but that became his poem.
Pretty much. Yeah,
exactly. Which also worked, but I could really relate to that. I do have a mentor of sorts. June Melby lives in Decorah, and she has made it onto the bestseller list with her story about her family growing up. And she grew up here, but every summer they'd spend in Minnesota. Her parents ran like a miniature golf thing, and so I run into her, and she's encouraged me, and which means a lot to me. And there's probably authors here. Decorah's 8,000 people. So
okay, well, cool.
It's nice that you all are so close.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we're not too far away from.
No, we're gonna get together someday.
Yes, one of these days when the world opens up.
Yes.
So, all right, and let's see. How much of the book is realistic, and are experiences based on someone you know or events in your life?
Well, talking about The Late Side of Midnight, it's really about a young boy who can't sleep, and he has a dream, and the dream is the story, but so it kind of goes back. It seems real. The story seems real, but it's actually his dream.
Okay. Cool.
And then The Brave Boys was based on my grandsons. The dragon is one of my grandsons. And that is more a fairy tale type story because it doesn't, some of it deals in reality and some doesn't.
Okay.
some of the things they do. I mean, they have a flying dragon and
so probably not real there.
Probably,
probably not real there.
Probably not. But one thing I really love children, and I have 5 of my own and grandchildren. And one thing I think about with children is they like to feel powerful, brave, and smart. So the Brave Boys story is about all that. They're brave. They have to use their heads. They have to go rescue a princess. And I think children can relate to that because, as I said, they like to feel powerful. I have a 3-year-old granddaughter, and she likes to feel strong and powerful. And a lot of their pretend play is, being strong and powerful. So I kind of use that theme in the story.
Okay. Which of course also promotes independence. Promoting independence with kids.
Yes.
That's really big. How many times have you heard from kids, I'll do it all by myself? So and
2 of the stories really don't have adults in them at all.
Okay.
Maybe at the very end when the princess goes home, the parents are sitting there, but that's a Maria Montessori concept that don't do anything for your children that they can do themselves.
Oh yeah.
To teach them that independence.
I've got one for you. What, just for fun, what does your desk look like?
So I don't really have a desk. I sit and write anywhere. In my bedroom, I now have my childhood desk. It's got some neat cubby holes, and maybe I need to once a day sit at that desk and write something to get those creative juices flowing. Maybe that'll become my magic writing desk.
There you go. That would be fun, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Well, that would be fun. All right. So that is pretty much everything, because you covered the first 5 questions in your first. I'm like, well, she's just going to keep going.
It's fun.
Yeah. All right. Is there anything else you would like to say to all of the people out in internet land?
Yes. Read to your children. And if they're old enough, let them read to you. My dad was a school teacher. My mom was a nurse. And to this, never, ever bored. When I hear someone say they're bored, I wish I had more hours in the day. You can always read a good book. And we always read a lot, went to the library. I'm reading 2 books right now, and we have a thrift store here that practically has a library. They have so many books to choose from. I love getting recommendations of books to read. I'm also reading Cold Mountain right now.
Okay.
And, I learned at a very young age that books are better than movies by far. I watched Cold Mountain. Now I'm reading the book. Oh my gosh, it's 10 times better. The detail, and if you don't understand something, you can go back and read it over. But anyway, read to your children. I remember as a young girl reading to my little sister. I think it increases your vocabulary. It teaches you about the world. It can teach you about other cultures. There's no excuse ever to be bored, and my parents taught me that. So anyway, read to your kids.
There you go. That's number 1. Read to your kids. You'll they'll thank you for it. That's for sure. My kids appreciate it too. All right. Well, this has been the introduction interview with Joanne Stevenson. I would anticipate we will see her first book, The Late Side of Midnight. What would you say for ages, what, 4 to 8? 3 to 7, 4 to 8 maybe?
Yeah, or maybe 4 to 9.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. So somewhere there, but I would imagine if Samantha starts illustrating it in, sometime in December, maybe January, but December, we'll shoot for that kind of area. Anyway, so, but you'll learn more about her. Actually, right now you could get onto foxpointepublishing.com. Pointe, of course, has an E because, we have to be difficult, but foxpointepublishing.com, click on professional, scroll down, you'll see Joanne down on the bottom there. She's really one of our newest authors that have just jumped on with us. And we'll be adding more to her webpage, and eventually soon here she's going to get a book cover, and you can get onto the Books by Fox Pointe Publishing on Facebook, our group page, and you'll see more about her and all that good stuff. So
thank you.
Yeah, it's coming up. So all right, well, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. Have a fabulous day in your neighborhood. Bye.
Thank you, Kirsten.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye.